Okay, so today's Sunday, and this is going to be a special Sunday edition that I'm calling the Freeze. And the Freeze is an options trading adjustment that was taught to me by a swell man, a good old boy. It was a strategy I learned in the community I'm involved in that I've talked about before. The creme de la creme of options trading and options trading community. I can't recommend this group enough. This is a group that just has totally transformed my trading, and it's just ridiculous the value that you get in there and the people that are involved in there. Anyway, let me stop gushing about that and get to this trade. So the Freeze is essentially the idea of the Freeze trade. It's a super simple adjustment you can apply super quick. And I believe you could apply it in any type of a market condition really quick, even like a terrible crashing, scary, end of the world, apocalyptic type of a crash. I think this trade would go on really quick. And the way that it's designed, you don't have to worry about volatilities levels getting way out of control. It's a super simple, straight to the point, like a sniper hit, pow, to freeze your option income trading position. And why this is helpful, I think, is because like if the crap hit the fan and you weren't expecting it and all hell was breaking loose, things just tanking, in a situation like that, I just want something that I can just freeze the position, stop the bleeding, stop everything, just freeze it. Like if I could just like instantaneously just pause it and freeze everything so that it's just sitting there doing nothing. Basically, you're just nullifying the Greeks. You're just like flattening all the Greeks so that no matter what happens, your position's not affected. It's not losing money. It's not making money. It's just frozen, like frozen in time. And that gives you the ability to kind of take a breath, try to get your wits about you, like in this big, this big crash that's going on, and not have to make super quick decisions when your emotions are all over the place and you're not thinking clearly. This is perfect for that. This is the freeze adjustment. And like I said, it's super simple, super quick. You just apply it and your position will freeze. Now, the way that it's built, it'll freeze it in time. And the idea of this is that your position won't really make any money or lose money no matter what's going on in the market. It's just kind of frozen. But you have to do something like within a day or two or three. You can't just leave it there for like a week because there are some effects that will start to kick in over time. But it gives you plenty of time to like kind of get your head together, maybe like see what's really going on. Look at all your different options you have, like all the different adjustments you can do. Like once you unfreeze it and go back into the crazy market, it just buys you time and it lets you calm down, go through all your options that you have, or do whatever you're going to do with the trade. It gives you the time to think clearly. And I love this idea, and I've used this idea. And again, it's ridiculously simple. It's just a matter of knowing what to do. And there's a couple different ways to do it. First of all, I'm going to show you the way that I was taught it and how I apply it to my income trades, my bread and butter trades. And I can't really show you the exact strikes because the guy who created it, I just want to respect his IP and all the work. I mean, he spent years and years of trial and error getting this together and trying to get this to work, figuring it out and like dialing it in. But I can introduce you to that guy and his program and his community. And once you're in there, you can learn it. I can show you how to get involved with that. But there are some other versions of it too, which I'm going to show you. And I'm going to show you a version that's an inferior version from the one that's taught in this community, which is like I consider to be the ultimate, like the most efficient, simplest, the fastest, the quickest, and they can work across any type of income position, I think. But the one I'm going to show you is a similar idea, and it'll just basically freeze a 1-1-2 trade. So let's say you're in a 1-1-2 trade and you don't have a downside hedge on. You have all that naked space to the downside, and you wake up one day and all hell is breaking loose and the market's crashing. You're going down, you're losing money, everybody's freaking out. This is a very quick, simple way that you can apply this adjustment. Just put on this trade that I'm going to show you and just freeze your position so you can stop the bleeding and flatlines everything basically. So I'm going to show you that. First of all, though, let me show you the original one that I learned from my friend that runs that community that I can introduce you to if you're interested in. So this is one of my basic bread and butter strategies right here. This is as if I placed the trade on today. You can see that right now it's on the SPX. We're trading right here, and you can see this position. This is the ideal position for me. I love these positions. We have a positive theta. If the market comes down, we have this nice ramp up in here we can go. The Vega is positive, which means that if volatility pops, this line, this is really where our only real risk is in this position down here. And if Vega were to pop, which it would, absolutely, if there was a big down move, this pink line will come up. We can kind of get an idea of that. Just watch that pink line. I'm going to raise volatility. You can see as volatility rises, that thing just pops up. higher, higher, higher. And so you wind up with a position that's essentially entirely above the zero line. So this is one of my basic main bread and butter strategies, this right here. But let's just say that if we wanted to put this freeze on this, what we would do is a super simple adjustment, just basically one trade, and I'll apply it now, even though I wouldn't really even need it with this position necessarily if there was a crash down. I mean, we have to see what things were like in the moment, but you can see we have this nice ramp down. If this is the 10% down line. If we come down 10%, we're up $5,868. If we're down 20%, we're down 3,000. But that's without any volatility going up. Let's just say that volatility would at least go up. Let's just say 20%. It comes up 20%. Here's the line. You can see that we're totally above the zero line. And this just takes off. Like, this gives a lot of profit potential. And this is why I love this trade so much. So I don't even know if I would necessarily need the freeze adjustment with this trade. But let me just show you what it does regardless. And again, this is the freeze that I learned in that community, the creme de la creme community that I can show you how to get involved in yourself if you like. But let's just put on this trade now. So this is the trade as it exists, the normal position I have. Now I'm going to put that freeze on. So here's the trade with the freeze put on, and you can see it just flattens everything out as to where we're at right now. But you can see here it just takes off to the upside. You have no more of that worry, and this is even with volatility at zero. Just by applying this super simple trade that you can do in one order, we flatten out our surrounding area where we're just totally flat, and if it continues to crash down, this thing just goes up, 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 and just crazy up. And the way this position is built with it, you can see if we were to go up this way too, we're way above the zero line here. We're up at 16,723 up here on the upside. So that's the freeze, the way that I was taught it in the creme de la creme community. So anyway, back to this now. So let's put on a trade with the 112. So here's the 112 trade. This is just a kind of a basic structure, 112, the way that I was taught it. And again, I love everything about this trade except for this downside. That's just gives me the shivers. And for me, that's unacceptable. We got to figure out a way to fix that. But the first one of the solutions is, this is not the ideal solution because it's better to have your insurance and your plan and your protection in place before the thing happens, before the black swan hits. And the black swan is something, that's something that no one expects. So there's no way you can know it's coming. So you just need to have it on and ready all the time. And we'll get into that in the next couple of videos. But for this one, let's just look at things we can do if we're in a position here, God forbid, naked to the downside, and what we could do to freeze this position. Let's see, how would we freeze the 112. And again, this is not the exact same freeze strategy that's taught in the creme de la creme community. But what I'll do in this is I'll show you something similar that has the same type of effect. It's not as efficient, it's not as simple, and not as elegant as the one that's taught in the creme de la creme community. But it still works, and it's the basic idea. So here we are. So this is the 112. We're going along. We wake up one day, and all of a sudden the market's crashing. So a similar adjustment to the freeze we could do is to simply apply this trade right here. And you can see what that does. It flattens out this line. So this is the 10% down mark, right? This is the 20% down mark. So you can see what we've done just by applying that super simple adjustment. And again, it's a trade that you can put on super quick, super simple, in one order. You can basically lock up this position. You can freeze it. So you can see at this point, the pink line is the 0-day line, and it just basically it flatlines it all the way down here to, well, past 20% down. This is the 20% line, this brown line. And in fact, in this particular situation, you're even making money on the way down a little bit. So right here, we're at like break even. As this comes down, we're just gaining more and more profit. And you can adjust this thing to give yourself more profit or less by a simple tweak, just by doing this, by making a simple change to the freeze adjustment here. I mean, you can dial in exactly what you want. You want to be just like totally flat. Do you want to give yourself upside so you're delta negative so that if it does continue crashing down, you can make some money? And so this is an example of the freeze trade, specifically for the 112 trade. Now I'm going to show you exactly how this trade is built, like which strikes, which expirations, how many contracts, all that. It's just that my friend, my trading partner, who I've worked with for years and who helped me come up with this freeze adjustment, I told him I wanted to share it on my YouTube channel. And he said he didn't mind if I shared it with others, but he just didn't want to have it be publicly available, like on the public YouTube out there. So he said he would be cool and fine with it, just as long as I make that particular video, the video that shows all the strikes, all the details, everything that you would need to build this yourself on a non-public YouTube video, like a private YouTube video, but still for free, just like on a non-public page on my website. So I've created this exact same adjustment showing all the strikes, all the contracts, everything that's involved with building this and everything that you would need to know how to build this yourself. You can totally watch for free. And I'll even include like a PDF breakdown on a page on my website. And I'll include the link to access that in the description below. So to view that, just go to the link in the description below. I'll call the link the 112 Freeze. Just click on that link. You'll go over to a page where you can get free access to the full strategy, all the strikes, all the different options, all the expirations, everything you need to build it yourself. Totally for free, and a PDF breakdown of it as well. Now, let me just take this a little bit further. This is the basic structure. This is like the one move, just like the one ninja move that can flatten this thing out, or even give you negative delta here, so you make money on the downside. The thing is, if it continues to crash, we still have this problem, the naked puts to the downside. But you could also tweak this a little bit by simply adding an adjustment like this, just by tweaking it a little bit, come up with a position where you can make a ton of money just from that simple tweak and adjustment if it continues crashing. The downside is that by doing an adjustment like this, although we've gotten rid of our downside risk, our current P&L right here at this point where we're trading at has dropped. So you can see down here the blue line. You can see that we're down $1,045, which in a Black Swan event, I would be very happy to walk away with a little $1,000 loss rather than, a loss down here to like 100,000 or more. But the cool thing is that this is super tweakable. As you'll see when you go to that link below and you can see the specific strikes and the structure that this says, there's a lot of little tweaks and variations you can do to kind of like fine tune this into exactly what you want. So that's the freeze. And again, if you'd like to see the exact details of the strikes, the number of contracts, how this thing is actually built, just click on the link below and you can access the video with all the info showing and a PDF breakdown as well. So that's just a quick video on the freeze strategy. If you'd like to learn more about the original freeze and learn more about that community that I'm involved with, that I call the creme de la creme community, where I've learned trades like this, my main bread and butter trades, just reach out to me. I'll point you in the right direction. I'll introduce you to them, and I believe it'll be the best investment you ever make. So anyway, that's it for today. If you'd like to follow along with me on this trade or any of my other trades, just make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel below. Click subscribe and also join me on my website. Go over there and I'll leave a link to my website in the description below. Just head on over there. Join my free email newsletter. As soon as you join the free email newsletter, you'll get a welcome email. Just reply back to that welcome email and we'll go from there. All right, that's it for today. See you next time.